Hey, EV people. You know, the demise of EVs has been greatly exaggerated. We've got proof. EV charging infrastructure requirements are actually starting to change the business models of many well established businesses around America. You know, there's a list of 15 states with the most EV chargers per person. There's a list. Choice Hotels is actually going to start making EV chargers available to all their franchisees and will be requiring Cambria to install Tesla wall chargers at all their hotel locations. That's good news. Elon almost sold Tesla to Google back in 2013. Imagine the possibilities or lack thereof. And there's actually going to be a Waffle House getting DCFC in Tennessee. That's a Waffle House that I want to go to even more than I normally would. So stay tuned. It's Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. Let's get to it. Hey, guys, before we start, keep your eyes peeled because we will have merch incoming. Like this, EV drivers do it better. We recharge overnight. There's others. You might see some back there, some more samples. Keep your eyes peeled. We're going to have some EV Awesome merch, which is going to be EV Awesome. So you can wear your pride, your EV pride, literally on your chest or on a mug or a mouse pad, if anybody still uses those. I don't know, whatever other stuff I come up with. So keep your eyes open for EV Awesome merch. It's coming. Hey, my EV people. So, you know, we've all heard the stories about how EVs are on the way out because people just don't want them and they're too hard to service. Blah, 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 blah. All the stuff that the media wants to tell you. Well, according to S&P Global Mobility's 2024 global sales forecast, they're predicting sales of EVs to increase. It may not be as massive of an increase as we've seen over the last few years, but it's still going to keep increasing. 2024 is going to be one of those sort of, I think, plateau years. It's going to go up just a little bit, and then we're going to see 2025, 2026, 27. It's going to really start to boost up. Why? Mostly because of the EV charging infrastructure as it improves over the course of 24 and 25. That's when you'll see people start to realize, okay, I don't have to worry about charging my EV if I buy one, and the sales will start to go up. Now, of course, they're projecting that China will, of course, lead the world with a 28.6% increase in EV sales. That's pretty big jump. The U.S. Is expected to jump about 13.2%. And so total sales in 2023 of EVs was about 9.6 million units, and they're expecting globally to see 13.3 million units sold in 2024. So it would be a pretty good size increase of 12% market share worldwide. I think that's pretty good considering the battering that EVs have taken in the media, especially here in the U.S. over the last probably 6 to 7 months. It's been just ridiculous. And of course, as this is an election year in the U.S., the battering will only continue. You're going to hear people on both sides. EVs suck. EVs are great. The EVs are great. People are the ones that are right. So, you know, it's going to keep going back and forth. So we'll see how it goes. But I think, again, 2024 is probably going to kind of be like sort of a leveling off year. And then we're going to start to see the increase again, as charging infrastructure improves, which in a lot of ways it's already starting to happen. You know, we're starting to see that a lot of companies, due to the need for EV charging infrastructure, are starting to change their business models a little bit. You know, you're seeing companies like commercial real estate developers and like big box stores, malls, restaurants beginning to install fast charging or even level 2 charging, which I think for them is probably makes the most sense, putting in sort of level 2 charging in any kind of place where you're going to have consumers coming in and being there for a while, or like with the commercial real estate developers, either office space, businesses, you know, apartment complexes, where you put in level 2 charging where people are going to be there. If it's an apartment building where they live, they're going to obviously be there overnight, where they can plug their EV in and let it charge overnight. If it's a workplace, you can plug in while you're at work during the day. Restaurants, obviously, you know, you're going to be at a restaurant for an hour to 2 hours having dinner. You can plug in and charge. Makes a lot of sense. And, it doesn't all have to be DCFC. Obviously, I scream about it all the time. We need more charging, more charging. Not just fast charging, but we need level 2 charging, because I think that's where the sweet spot is for especially places where people are going to be for a little while. DCFC we need along the interstates, for road tripping and for quick charges when needed. But the level 2 charging in homes, businesses, that's where it's going to make the biggest difference. So I think we're starting to see that happening. Even like oil and gas companies are starting to invest more in EV charging, like BP. Late last year announced that they're going to buy $100 million worth of V4 chargers from Tesla. So, they're getting on board because I think they can see at some point, they're going to start to see a big decrease in the use of gasoline in worldwide, especially, US, China. It's going to start to go down, and they've got to make that revenue up somewhere. Not to mention the fact that installing even DC fast charging, it's still, if you roll in at 10% and you want to charge up to 80%, it's probably going to take you, depending on the vehicle that you have and the speed of the charger, anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes to do that, right? But again, you don't need to go 10 to 80 usually. Just charge for what you need to get to the next one. But either way, you're probably going to be there for 10, 15 minutes. So when you have those attached convenience stores, brings customers in, car dealers installing DC fast chargers that they let, just the average, the public use, not just for their customers or to charge their own, vehicles for sale. It's a great way. I've seen it. I did a video about a charger at a Ford dealer near my house where, it was surprisingly packed. There's 4 plugs, and including myself, they're all being used, and there was more people coming in. But one of the things that I noticed was people that had stopped to charge up their vehicles went into the showroom. So it's a great way for car dealers to get potential customers in. If you have an EV or maybe, you've had it for a few years, you're looking to upgrade, you stop at a car dealer to charge up, go into the showroom, see what they've got. Maybe they have something new that you want to upgrade. So it's a smart move in that regard. There's a list out of the 15 states with the most EV chargers per person. And I got to say, I'm not going to go through the whole list. I'll link it down below. But it's kind of sad in a lot of ways because there's still not a lot. Now, my home state of Massachusetts is actually number 3 on this list with 7,430 chargers, and that comes out to 0.00106 EV chargers per person. That's sad. And really, that 7,430, the vast majority of that is level 2 charging, right? That's going to be wall chargers, level 2 charging in businesses. That doesn't include DC fast charging. If you get out towards Boston, there's lots of DC fast charging, Tesla, EA, EVgo. When you get just about an hour west of Boston, it's the hinterlands to to most people in Boston, but it's not. There's a lot of us that live in the western part of Massachusetts, and the DC fast charging is slim pickings out here. It is going to increase. I've been looking at all the Massachusetts grant funding for chargers, that a lot of it comes due this year. The grants were given out in 2021, 2022, and a lot of the charging that the grants were given out to are required to be installed this year. A lot of it by May, June. So I've been keeping an eye on certain towns where I go to see what's coming in. Unfortunately, in a lot of places, it's just 1 or 2 plugs, but anything is better than what we've got now, which is not nearly enough. So the more we can get, the better. And Choice Hotels, they're going to make level 2 chargers of any brand apparently available to franchisees for all their brands, which is fantastic news because, now for me, even if I'm traveling where I'm not driving somewhere, if I have to fly somewhere, I always rent an EV because your boy doesn't drive Dino Juice cars anymore. I will not. So when I'm trying to pick where I'm going to stay, as far as, in a hotel, if they don't have EV charging, I'm not staying there. So you want my money? you got to have EV charging available so I can charge up either my own vehicle if it's a road trip or whatever vehicle that I rented for that particular trip, whether it be for work, for vacation, whatever it is. If you don't have EV charging, you don't get my business. And so Choice is actually going to make Cambria hotels, which are a little bit more upscale, I guess. They're going to require that all Cambria locations, I believe, have at least 4 Tesla wall chargers, which is great because as more and more cars convert to NACS, you'll be able to roll up just about any hotel. It won't matter if it's a Tesla wall charger, you'll still be able to charge your vehicle. And if you get an adapter, no problem. You'll be all set. So that's pretty good news because, again, if they don't have EV charging, I'm not staying there. And that's the bottom line. I think for a lot of people, that's going to become pretty common as EVs get more and more popular and, surpass the 50% mark in sales probably by the end of this decade. It's almost going to be required for hotels to get people to stay there. So good news there. And I saw a story that Elon Musk back in 2013 almost sold Tesla to Google because he was about to go bankrupt. This is just after the Model S originally came out and he had all kinds of bugs. And, and in those days, the Model S was even more expensive than it is now. And it was really an exclusive thing. And it was mostly people that just, wanted to drive an electric vehicle and had the money to spend and were willing to put up with those bugs. But sales weren't great. He was having a tough time with production. And I guess he was almost, in talks to sell to Google before things started to turn around and he backed out. But it just makes me wonder, what would have happened to Tesla if Elon had sold it to Google? Would it be better or worse? It's like, you almost don't know. I mean, would Google, if Google had bought Tesla for $11 billion, which is what he was reported to have been negotiating for as a price. If he had sold Tesla for $11 billion, $11 billion is a lot of money, but not to Google. So if sales didn't pick up, if things didn't, get right, would they have just canceled Tesla like they do with so many of their products? They put things out, doesn't work, no, they just shut it down. Google's never really shied away from that. If something's not working, they just cut it right off. It's dead. So would there even be a Tesla today? I wonder, because and would Tesla have been as innovative? Would there have ever been a Model X? Would there have ever been a Model 3 or a Model Y? Certainly, I highly doubt there would be a Cybertruck if a company like Google was running Tesla. And that's no knock on Google. It's just, it takes a mind like Elon to, just not only to encourage the designers to come up with a design like the Cybertruck, but then to have the balls to actually put it into production and say, yeah, that one, the one that looks crazy and weird, it's made of stainless steel, it makes absolutely no sense. Make that. I don't know if there would be a Cybertruck had Google bought Tesla. So interesting to sort of think about sort of the what if scenarios, but then again, on the flip side, maybe Tesla would be 3 times the size. Maybe Google would have really put a lot of resources into Tesla, and maybe cars like the Model 3, Model Y would have come out sooner. And maybe, Google would have been able to build out the production faster and better. So, it's one of those things I guess we'll never know, but interesting to think about anyway. And then the last thing that I saw today, I just thought it was interesting that there is a Waffle House in Lakeland, Tennessee that is about to get some DC fast charging in their parking lot. A company called EnviroSpark is installing NEVI-funding DC fast charging at the Lakeland, Tennessee Waffle House. So that makes Waffle House even more amazing than it already is, because I don't know if you've ever been to a Waffle House. We don't have any here in the Northeast, and that's a shame. But when I travel, if I see a Waffle House, I'm going. It's just, there's something about a place like that. I mean, I just love, a good old-fashioned just diner feel, get those grits, and just breakfast at the Waffle House it's amazing. And if you've never been to Waffle House, you got to go. Try it out. And now makes me want to go to Lakeland, Tennessee, to that particular Waffle House, just so I can charge there. And, obviously probably make a video. I don't know when that'll happen, if I'll ever do it, but I'm going to keep it in the back of my mind, kind of like maybe back here, that keep an eye on that. When I see that charger's installed, just see what the travel schedule looks like and see if maybe that's a place that I want to road trip to. I don't know. We'll see. But in the meantime, everybody, just keep in mind and always remember that EVs are awesome. And it's what? It's okay to be awesome. Catch you guys later. Choice hotels. They're going to start allowing franchisees. They're going to start making